I recently had a deal fall apart as the listing agent, all because of a low appraisal and a seller who refused to lower the price. And honestly, it could have been prevented. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Madeline, a realtor in South Carolina and Georgia, and I share real experiences from the field to help buyers and sellers make smarter decisions. And today we're talking about appraisals, specifically what happens when appraisals come in low and how they can completely make a deal fall apart. In this situation, I was representing the seller. We went under contract with a qualified buyer. Everything was moving forward, and then appraisal came back, lower than the agreed purchase price. So, quick refresher, an appraisal is a third-party opinion of value based on comparable sales, the home's condition, and current market trends. And here's the key. The buyer's lender will only lend based on the appraised value, not the contract price. So when an appraisal comes in low, it creates a gap. For example, if you're under contract at $350,000, but the home appraises for $330,000, that's a $20,000 difference that has to be figured out. At this point, there are really three options. Either the seller lowers the price, the buyer brings extra cash to close the gap, or both parties meet somewhere in the middle. In this case, my seller wasn't comfortable lowering the price. As their agent, it's my job to advise, but ultimately the decision is always theirs. And the buyer wasn't in a position to cover that gap, so they exercised their contingency and terminated the contract. And not long after that, we also made the decision to terminate our agency agreement. And this is exactly why I wanted to share this, because an appraisal isn't just a suggestion. It directly impacts whether a deal can move forward. So if a buyer is financing, this same issue is very likely to come up again with the next buyer too. So here's my honest takeaway from this experience. Most deals that fall apart over an appraisal are preventable. And I don't say this to place blame. It usually comes down to preparation and expectations. And looking back on something that I would do differently is I would have an even more direct conversation up front about appraisal risk, not just saying, hey, it might come in low, but really walking through if it comes in 10,000, 20,000 under, what are we doing? Because once you're under contract, emotions are high, timelines are tight, and decisions feel heavier. Second, I would push harder on pricing strategy from the beginning, because the truth is, if a home is priced ahead of the market, the appraisal is often where that catches up. And third, I would set a very clear expectation that flexibility isn't a weakness, it's a strategy. Because sometimes adjusting your price slightly doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're keeping a qualified buyer, staying on track to close, and avoiding starting over. And to be clear, I always advocate for my clients and respect their decisions. But part of my role is making sure that they fully understand the potential outcomes before we get there. If you're a seller, my advice is this. You don't have to agree to everything, but understanding how the numbers affect buyers' financing can help you make better decisions, and try to stay open-minded during the process. If you're a buyer, know your limits, understand your appraisal contingency, and don't feel pressured to overpay beyond what makes sense for you. At the end of the day, the goal isn't just to go under contract, it's to actually make it to the closing table. And that only happens when price, value, and expectations all align. If you've ever dealt with a low appraisal, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real estate insights.